Hi. I'm from Mills. I graduated a year ago. My name is Adrienne. I'm going to read you 2 excerpts from a novella in progress called Electronic Bamboo Spine. And it's 2 separate scenes that have been kind of patched together. And it's one moment in a family in 2 separate scenes. So here we go. Decomposition begins when the heart stops beating. Blood gives into gravity and muscle tissue becomes rigid. Rapid pH changes collapse cellular structures and blisters form under the surface of the skin. In bodies without oxygen, anaerobic organisms thrive. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins become acids and gas. This attracts the flies. The abdomen extends. Tissues liquefy. Internal pressure causes nostrils and mouths to bubble. Maggots writhe. This is his albatross. Emile imagines rotting skin slipping away from a body, the hair having been discharged from each follicle. Active decay creates islands where corpses float in their own froth. The maggots evacuate. They breed. He has seen it. Emile stands. It is the moments after a death that haunt him because everything is quiet. It is as though what remains alive lapses time with its need to reconfigure, to absorb the disruption of energy, to transmute, or to slough the coat of guilt's dust. Shaking, backward and forward, he rubs his palms against denim to form wispy tan trails returning to the earth. Emile walks to the bird. Finding the point of the turkey's breast with his fingers, he inserts his knife. He makes a cut toward the tail. The skin splits with smooth edges, prying the bird's back and breast apart just enough. He slides his hand up the body cavity, upward behind the intestines. With his arm encased, he grabs for the heart, the lungs, the liver, and in one fell swoop he pulls, and the guts follow. Emile thinks of corpse islands once again and how they dry up as the liquefied remains eventually seep into the ground. This causes carbon and nitrogen. Sorry, I messed up. This increases carbon and nitrogen. It kills the surrounding vegetation so that skin and cartilage stale on bare patches of land. Bones will bleach. He grabs the neck where the skin meets the feathers, making a slit that divides it in 2. He removes the esophagus and the windpipe. Then he cuts out the crop, and holding the tom at chest height, Emile lets the blood out, and it drips onto the land. It is September, and 18 mussels control the ears of wild dogs. American crows can decipher complex calls, and they call Emile a hunter. Bats conceive entire landscapes by analyzing their own echoes. In this way, they are able to locate their prey. They use sonar. In humans, shifting waves of air are amplified in the inner ear. Transformed into neurological impulses, vibrations drift into the temporal lobe. There does exist a point at which the ear cannot discern the low frequency it hears, but like snakes absorbing infrasound through their bellies, the body still feels it. It quivers. As dusk descends, Pausia's complexion turns from cool to warm, from violet to rust. The church bells ring out at Sacred Heart, and grades of sand shake out from between the blocks of cut stone walls. A sprinkle inflames the dust. In the evenings, translucent rays, little particles of earth whirl. The moody, late summer breeze is gritty. The sun elongates the shadows of the cross on the roof, of the trees, of Pausia and her daughter Flo. Behind the heavy wooden doors of the church, Pausia hopes to unveil the grail of her daughter's happiness, to show her that even in disparate feelings, grace still exists. Flo feels a raw tension inside of her. It branches out from her heart like a series of webs, small orbs innervating her small muscles, and she drops to her knees, and the gravel dents her legs, leaving purple and blue divots on her skin, and she lengthens her body and presses it into the dirt, hard. Her vessels constrict, the pressure builds in her veins. She howls, squeezing globules of holy water mud through her fists. The wet dirt turns an opaque tan against her skin before it cracks into ash-tone flakes. The flakes crumble. People, we gravitate to the familiar. We erect landmarks, mark days on calendars. We wear rings, count anniversaries, gouge lines in trees, walls, in each other and ourselves. Recursion, it is in our blood. Pausia thinks that the first iteration is the hardest, despite appearing simple. She dips her fingers into the stoop. She remembers the early distortions were difficult in making the sign of the cross. She remembers how invasive her memory was before she began listening to its rhythm. But it is different with Flo. She is like a meal. Flo cries. Thank you.